And actually, that was a harsh murder case. But actually, so when it comes to when it comes to thinking about what the murderer had experienced when he I mean when he was a student, and actually, so I think the murderer was a perpetrator had a psychological disease actually, but actually, so killing is bad, which means so killing people is bad. So anyway, so hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version, and this time what I'm going to talk about is a case of murder. Or I mean, what I'm going to talk about is a case of killing, and in which were killed. Four people were killed, including two police officers, well, two policemen, and actually, the other two people were older ladies, and actually, so telling the truth, so they are of course, they were younger than the average of or they were those the other two killed people were older ladies who are younger than the life expectancies in this country. The life expectancy of women is really close to 90 years. And which means, so I'm not saying that it's fine that if it's fine that those older ladies were killed. So I don't say such a thing. So as Black Lives Matter, Asian Lives Matter, and which means every the lives of everybody, or the life of everybody is that does matter, which is a truth actually, I think. And anyway, I won't tell you. I will not talk about things about the ages of those killed, of those who were killed. Anyway, and coming back to the murderer, and who killed four people. And there was such a murder, or there was such a murder, or there was such a killing in my country, and which is really rare, which is really rare, and to start with, so the weapon used for the killing was a rifle, was a actually, according to the news. So what was used for killing those four people was used for killing some of those people was a hunting rifle, and according to the broadcast in my country, and maybe two and other maybe police officers were killed by the rifle, and as there had been a stabbed or wounded and stabbed victim, according to the online information I read before. And anyway, so this is actually this is a digression, and this is not the main track of this episode. Wait a moment, please. What I'm going to talk about is, wait a moment, please. I'm looking for, yes. Here comes the note, or here comes the writing I created for this episode. And the title of this episode is "They aren't ridiculing you, nor interested in you." And the conclusion is people are not interested in others, which is a fact actually. So according to one of the online information, or according to one piece of among the pieces of online information related to that killing, was it related to that murder, actually. And that murderer, or that perpetrator, had a hallucination, and according to which, so when he was a student, so he stayed in or he had stayed in, or he had lived in Tokyo. He had lived in Tokyo, and according to that perpetrator, so he had said that his room had been bugged, which means so somebody is somebody was furtively listening to his life. Well, somebody used some electronic listening devices for for getting information about the perpetrator. And by the way, the victim is he. Well, the victim is a man, and he is the oldest son, or he's the yes, he is the elderliest son, or he is the oldest son of the local leader, or of the mayor. Of the mayor, he's the oldest son of the local mayor, or of the local leader, and which is one of the features, or which is one of the yes, which is one of the features which shocked, or which surprised the viewers, or which surprised the general public of this country. And anyway, actually, I thought that killing was one of the premonitions, or one of the indications showing that the general public of this country is becoming violent. And actually, I made an episode really in which I was talking about that, the local people in this country are becoming violent, or becoming savage. And coming back to the case, and another fact is that I don't know whether this is the truth or not. I don't know whether this is the correct information or not. But actually, so according to the perpetrator, so he had heard that some people were ridiculing him because he couldn't proceed his own job hunting well after the graduation of maybe he didn't graduate his own university, or he graduate from his university anyway, but actually he couldn't get the sufficient, or he couldn't get the job he wanted to take, or he wanted to be on anyway. So he didn't do well in job hunting, or in searching jobs, or in finding or in getting jobs. So which is why, so but actually he was working for a company owned by his family. Anyway, he was such a, according to the online information, or according to the news, so he was such a person. And one day, which means, so on the date of the murder, I mean on the date of the murder, or on the date of killing those four people, he he has somebody was ridiculing him. I don't know the truth, or I don't know the truth, or I don't know what is correct, and I don't know what is wrong, what is anyway. But actually, so he heard somebody was ridiculing himself, and he killed those he killed those who he found having ridiculed him, or and he killed anyway. He killed those victims as than those two police officers, and he found and he thought those two older ladies were ridiculing him, and which is why he killed those two older ladies. And it's really complicated, but actually, so I don't know whether they were actually ridiculing that perpetrator, but actually, anyway, but the fact is, anyway, nobody knows the fact, I think. And but actually, here comes the main track of this episode, and the fact is that nobody is interested in you. Nobody is interested in you. I'm sorry for my bad explanation, bad pronunciation of English language. So nobody nobody thinks about you. Nobody thinks about you. Well, just only few people, or I mean when it comes to your parents or when it comes to the family members of your family, they or if you have really close friends, maybe they are considerate to you and they are thinking about you sometimes. But actually, so in the case of people who have nothing to do with you, including the businesses of your lives, and they aren't interested in you, or they haven't thought anything about you, and they are not related to you. So which is why so gossips, talking about gossips are fine, but actually so there's nothing like that, there's nothing. For example, I mean, what I'd like to tell you is that so other people do not find you, somebody more than their gossips. And even though others are talking about, even though others are talking about you, they are what they are talking about is one of the gossips they wanted to talk about. So which means, so if you are worried about, or if you are thinking of whether other people are ridiculing you, or other people are trying to attack you, or whether if you find out, if you have some hallucinations, or do start with, if you are thinking that, so some people are trying to attack you, so apart from Ukrainian soldiers who is fighting, who are fighting against, Russian soldiers, so nobody is going to attack you, which is a fact. And some people may be attacked, or some girls, or some cute girls, or some busty ladies may be attacked by some by some delinquents, or by some weird men, or by some dangerous weird guys. But actually, so apart from those, cute girls and busty ladies and Ukrainian strong soldiers, or Ukrainian weak soldiers, and nobody's interested in you to start with, and which is why they may ridicule you, but actually they are not going to attack you, and which is why, so you don't have to be worried about other people, and because you are fine, and you are safe, and your lives are safe, and you are and if you think that you are going to die tomorrow, or you may die tomorrow, and it's fine, so you are going to survive tomorrow. And apart from Ukrainian people, apart from Ukrainian people, Sudanese people fighting against their own opponents, or fighting against their own enemies, and in such a case, so so it's possible to say that so if you are Russian soldiers who are fighting against Ukrainian soldiers, you may die, or so there's a possibility that you are going to die tomorrow. But actually, apart from those people, so nobody's going to attack you, or nobody's going to so some people may talk about you, but actually what they are going to talk about is it's not more than gossips or hearsays. So which is why those gossips and hearsays are harmless. So which is why, so so if you are thinking that some people may attack you, or some people maybe some people are ridiculing you, so that's a hallucination, or that's an illusion. So which is why, so so I mean, in such a case, or if you're thinking stuff like that, so what I'd like you to know is that so in this episode, what I'd like you to know in this episode is that so people are not interested in you, and people are so people are not so people are not people are not thinking of you, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So people are such kind of people, and people are so generally speaking. And there's a friend. I have a friend who once said that so people are egocentric, but actually there are degrees of such egocentricity, or there's a degrees of being egocentric. But actually, so that I think that's the case. I think, and that's the case actually. So I have so actually I had when I was young, so I had such kind of hallucination, but actually I hadn't committed any crimes, and I did, and when I had such a hallucination, I had known that I had known that, so that was a hallucination, and which is why, so nobody would attack me, and which is what I had known at that time when I had such a similar hallucination, was when I had a similar illusion. So which is why, so if you have such hallucinations or illusions, so there's nothing you need to worry about. So you should concentrate on your own true problems, if you have some. So and anyway, this is the ending. This is the end of this episode, and I'm going to tell you the title and the conclusion of this episode as always. And the title of this episode is "They aren't ridiculing you, nor interested in you." And the conclusion is people are not interested in others. So which is what I'd like you to know this time. So that's it. Thank you very much for listening. See you. And I almost forgot to tell you this, but actually, so please take a look at the description column of this episode, and so that you are going to find out the relate the murder case I was talking about, or I used for the material, or for the information source of this episode. So if you can't find out, if you can't understand what I'm saying, so anyway, please take a look at the description column of this episode, and you can find out a link of an online news, and and by reading which, so you can come to know what kind of, or which killing, or which murder I was talking about in this episode. And by the way, so I checked out the superlative of the adjective elderly, and elderly, the superlative of the word elderly is the most elderly, not the elderliest.